I want to state for the record that I really like NASCAR. And I love the National Guard more than I like NASCAR. So this hearing is not about demonizing NASCAR or the National Guard. This hearing is simply about return on investment of federal tax dollars, whether or not federal money is being used wisely for the intended purpose and getting the result desired as a result of that investment. The Guard's contract with NASCAR alone amounts to $32 million. The Army National Guard spends 37% of its marketing and advertising budget on sports sponsorships. According to one National Guard recruiting official, however, not a single National Guard soldier was recruited from the NASCAR sponsorship program in 2012, and the program generated fewer than 8,000 leads in 2013. That may sound like a lot, but it's a far cry from the 1 million leads the National Guard has estimated that it needs in order to meet its recruiting goal. The Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard, all of which used to sponsor NASCAR, have all decided to end these programs. The regular Army ended its sponsorship with NASCAR in 2012 after concluding that the program had the highest cost per lead in the Army's portfolio of sponsorships. The Army also cited the fact that only a small portion of the NASCAR audience fell within its target demographic. The Marine Corps made the same decision in 2006 when it determined that the cost per impression of sponsoring a NASCAR team was almost impossible to measure. The Navy ended its own sponsorship of NASCAR in 2008 because the program was too expensive compared to the marketing benefit it received. And the Coast Guard ended their relationship with NASCAR in 2006 due to the cost of the sponsorship and only generating 350 leads for their $9.6 million investment. As I stated in February when examining the Guard's recruiting assistance program, I understand that aggressive recruiting is the key to maintaining the strength of our military, but Congress has a responsibility to ensure that every taxpayer dollar spent produces measurable results. In this environment of dwindling recruiting budgets, I want to understand why the Army National Guard has maintained sports sponsorships that fail to reach target recruiting demographics and also provides less value per dollar than other forms of marketing.
So you're spending $120 million on advertising, and then you're backing into the value of that by saying how many impressions that is and what the media value is. I mean, isn't the media value what you spend on it? I mean, I'm sorry if I sound a little confused here, but
no, that's fine, Senator, and that's why, as I came into the position, I'm interested in evaluating these programs. I would like to know what are good metrics to use to measure the effectiveness of sports sponsorship programs, and that's what I'm focused in on. Well,
my suggestion would be you'd start with the number of people you've recruited and have a good solid figure on how many dollars you spend on recruitment. So that's why I first start out with how much do you spend on recruitment a year? And then have you taken a look at that over time so you have some level of history in terms of, you know, let's say in 2010 we spent, you know, $100 million and we recruited 50,000 people. It cost X number of dollars per recruit. I mean, do you have that? I mean, do you ever see any information like that?
Senator, I'll come back to you on that if I can, please.
Do you know why all the other active military components decided to not recontract with NASCAR?
I do not, Senator, other than what was relayed by the subcommittee.
It's interesting to me because you guys don't have as much money as the Army has to market. You have very limited dollars compared to the Army. So it's interesting to me, and you know, we like to preach joint in terms of cost savings and working together. It's interesting to me that another branch of the military with more money that finds sponsoring NASCAR is not cost effective, but no one at the Guard would then look to see maybe we should look at their analysis. Let's talk a little bit about recruiting women. Are you aware of any of the contracts that you all have that are geared toward recruiting women to the Guard?
Senator, with regards to recruiting women to the Guard, on a personal basis, I can say I've done my part. I recruited my spouse, Amy, to join the Guard in 1994.
Now, I hope that wasn't heavy lifting.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We actually pride ourselves on being an inclusive organization and reflective of the communities where we serve. And so I'm happy to report that the number of women serving in the Army National Guard has actually gone up 40% between 2000 and 2014. In 2000, there were 40,000 women in the Army National Guard. In 2014, there's 56,000, so a 40% increase. Within our accessions, in 2000, women represented 18.2% of our accessions in that year. In 2014, that's gone up 4% to 22.2%. So we're very interested in offering opportunities to all members of society, and I think our growth in attracting women to our ranks.
That's terrific, and I'm glad to hear that. If you're saying that you have a third for branding and the rest is recruiting, I don't understand how national advertising gets in the recruiting pot and how NASCAR doesn't, and how you can justify the fact that nobody's getting recruited from the NASCAR. I mean, the facts speak for themselves. The data is very clear. You're not getting recruits off NASCAR. I mean, this is data that you gave us. We didn't, the reason we know this is because you told us. So I guess I'm curious why you're not willing to say that if you were forced to spend less, that this isn't something that you would immediately look at in terms of deciding this is not the best use of the money.
Senator, I did not mean to convey that. I'm unwilling to say that. What I was trying to convey was I'm trying to analyze these programs for exactly the reasons you're saying. Are they achieving the intended effect? Are they the best use of our taxpayer dollars? And is that the right thing to be doing? These are things that I'm considering right now as the acting director as a path forward. So I'm in agreement with you on that I need to do that, and I'm committed to doing that.